Hi guys, it's Lucas from Sports Review. We're going to be reviewing the All Blacks versus Ireland game from Lansdowne Road. Alright, so this is my first ever review of an All Black loss. The All Blacks lost 16-9 to Ireland, who were very, very good and physical. Up front, they just beat us up, and we were shit, to be honest. We got pushed around at set piece, around the park, and we just didn't have the intensity that we should have had. Alright, so I'm going to take you through the key reasons why I think we weren't able to get the victory, and I've broken them into three sections. So first and foremost, we lost a physicality battle up front. The forwards were pushed around, and apart from Brodie Retallick, not too many of them were really getting into the thick of it the same way that the Irish forwards were. The Irish boys were jumping over each other to try and make tackles, and it meant that we had a lot of slow or not front foot ball. Primary reason number two was that our backs were too flat in attack, and we lacked the execution, especially in the passing game once we did get front foot ball. Next, we have complacency at the breakdown. We did manage to build a bit of pressure with several phases attacking the Irish pack, but we would leave players unprotected and they got sneaky turnovers at opportune moments. Usually we don't do this, but it was very, very poor to leave players unprotected like that. Number four, we were uncharacteristically shaky under the high ball, especially Damian McKenzie. Now, while he's very, very good on his feet and strong around the park, providing that extra playmaker in attack, they did find him out under the high ball, and he did bumble a few, coughing up possession or just giving us not clean ball. The last of the primary reasons is that Ireland just believed they could win. I don't think it's because they beat us 2 years ago in Chicago. I just think they're a better team now. So they're not intimidated by us. They believed from start to finish that they could get the job done, and they did. Alright, that moves us on to the secondary reasons why we lost. So the first one is that we didn't get the normal ascendancy that we have at scrum time. They were very, very competitive, they disrupted our ball, and they were very, very solid on their own ball. So we couldn't get that push on that we usually get. Next, we have not gaining ascendancy at the line-out. Now the line-out was the main thing that got us back in the game against the English last week, and we just couldn't steal their ball or get a real good roll-on going. A lot of that was due to the fact that there weren't actually that many line-outs in the game. So not a lot of set-piece stuff, but where we would normally gain ascendancy, they just quickly got it in and out, and it was very, very well done by the Irish. Alright, handling errors. We didn't have heaps, but we still had too many, and at the worst moments. Just when we needed to get a roll-on, we would drop the ball in a stupid manner. It was just lack of execution. The last reason would be the amount of penalties we gave away. We're giving them piggybacks out of their own area and into our attacking area, and 11 penalties was just too many for a game like that. We weren't cynical, and although we did get a warning from Wayne Barnes due to the nature of where we were in the field when giving away a few penalties, but it was more the moments when we gave away those penalties that we could have done without. Alright, now moving on, not to the reasons that we lost. These are some of the things that we would normally be super critical of that we actually did well. Number one is Wayne Barnes. He's fucked us a lot in the past, and so New Zealand has a pretty poor record with trusting Wayne Barnes' refereeing style, but he was actually alright. He didn't miss too much, and he was on top of everything with both captains. The second is the goal kicking of Beauden Barrett. It was perfect. He didn't get very many shots, just a 4 from 4. But he was striking the ball well and could have been trusted to take a few more. Lastly, poor defence and missed tackles. Although there were missed tackles, we didn't have poor defensive reads like we did last week against England. We got found out on defence, and they plugged up those holes during the week, and as a defensive unit we were pretty good. The one try that they did score was a very opportunistic try, which was a very good try, so they deserved the points on that one. Alright, so all in all, it was a rough physical game. The All Blacks' second loss of the season. When you think of an All Blacks season as a whole, is it successful or is it not? 2 losses is probably too many. We would expect that 1 loss is okay, but 2 to 2 different teams is probably 1 too many. Going into a World Cup year, globally, the competition is going to be great, and we can see that at least 4 to 6 teams realistically could win the World Cup. If we want to keep it, we're going to have to earn it. I have no doubt that it will be the most competitive World Cup yet. Other things to think about, other nations will be taking note that we're particularly susceptible under the high ball. So we need to prepare for that. We're probably going to get peppered in the air a lot over the next 12 months. The All Blacks tag no longer garners fear, but rather opportunity. They have a chance to play the best and beat the best because they believe they can do so. Teams are less likely to be intimidated and just have a crack knowing that they've got nothing to lose. We need to prepare for that too. Which brings me to the next one. I feel like we lack an enforcer. Over the last 2 World Cups we've had Jerome Kaino, and the ones before that we had Jerry Collins. Big men who pushed people around. We need to find someone like that. I don't think there is someone like that in New Zealand at the moment. There are a few going around that have the size, but they're a bit more skillful and try and play on the edge a bit more. We just need a real combative style big man, really hurting people in the middle of the field. Okay, so for our game, I thought that Brodie Retallick was good again. He carried the ball hard. He did get smashed a few times. They were really looking to hurt him. And he kept going forward, he kept trying. He was still trying to steal lineouts in the air and very physical at the breakdown. So I thought he tried hard all day and couldn't fault him for that. On the flip side, I thought Kieran Read's captaincy was a little bit poor. He felt like he was looking for help. I do recall when we got the penalty towards the end of we got a penalty towards the end of the game, and he was asking some of the other leadership members if they should take the kick at goal. I mean, it's his decision in the end, and he shouldn't need guidance on what he should do in that situation. It doesn't matter whether he wanted to take the kick at goal or not, plug the corner and go for the try. It was his decision and he should have backed himself to make it. For Ireland, I thought Peter O'Mahony was an absolute standout. Had crucial turnovers at crucial times, and he was in everything, made a lot of tackles, and although he didn't play the whole game, he was when he was taken off, he was clapped off to a standing ovation. Big game from him. Big part of the reason why they won the game was the heart that their forwards showed, and he was at the very forefront of that. They should be pretty proud of themselves. Like, we didn't go there with a B team, we went there with our A game, and it wasn't good enough today, and Ireland were the better team. It wasn't that the referee was on their side, it wasn't that the All Blacks were way too poor. They stepped up and we didn't. Alright, so next week we've got a test match against Italy. Not that Italy is a shit team, but I have no idea why they would book a test match with Italy last. It's like a dead rubber test match. Doesn't even matter if we had won every test match. Like, going to Italy and playing them last is a little bit silly and redundant in my thinking. Alright, so we'll see you again next week with the review of the All Blacks versus Italy game. Thanks guys.